So, 3 or 4 people, I don't remember who, I'm sorry, were requesting what the current format is. So, let's talk about this. So, if you guys remember YCS, Philadelphia, roughly a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, Matt O'Shea won the event, and everyone is on that fucking hype train, because people think Matt O'Shea is the best deck in the game. Nope. It isn't. You guys see all the deck lists that Cordero puts up for you guys. There really hasn't been another Matt O'Shea deck top. I've seen more random stuff top than I have more Matt O'Shea decks. Now, what does that have to do with regionals? Let's be realistic here. If a tier 1 deck can't even top a regionals, there's something pretty wrong with the deck. And that's not to go without saying it's not good, it's just not as good as it should be. Yugioh are shaping up to probably be the best deck currently, next to Hand, Artifact, Trap Tricks, or Hat for abbreviation, since everyone's been wanting an abbreviation for that deck. So Hand, Artifacts, or Hat, and Yugioh pretty much competing for the best 2 spots. Unfortunately, Hat does lose to Yugioh more than it wins. It's like a 60-40 kind of thing, maybe 70-30, depending on how the overall matchup goes, and setting up things like that. I'm not saying the Hat can't consistently beat the deck, it's just Yugioh has a much more favorable matchup. So Hat and Yugioh, like I said, are shaping up to be the best 2 decks. Yugioh just has its beautiful onslaught of bleh everywhere as the deck moves out, and against Hat it's kind of sad to watch the deck lose like that, especially considering Hat is actually a pretty cool deck. Outside of that, of course, you're starting to see a little bit more of the lower spectrum. Of course, dragons still exist. Everyone seemed to forgot Soul Charge as a card all of a sudden. I don't understand. I mean, just because Yugioh and Hat don't consistently abuse it doesn't mean the card doesn't exist. So, Yugioh and Hat are the 2 most notable decks. Following up are Matt O'Shea, just because the deck does have redundancy, and I don't think a lot of players seem to understand that one Fiendish Chain, depending on the situation, ends the game for Matt O'Shea. So of course, Matt O'Shea, Boojins are floating around, Noble Knights, Infernities, and to a lesser note, Sylvans. Sylvans are performing minimally, and I say very minimally, at the regional level. People are still trying to work out the build, and the sad thing about that particular deck, though, is it hasn't got any adjustments to it, so it's just kind of like floating in limbo. And of course, Fire King's just always kind of floating in limbo. Same thing with Fire Fist. Fire stuff in general kind of has been hit to the wayside. Not really much happened except for the death of Wolfbark. But outside of that, if you're going to play the current meta, make sure you guys know what to side for Hat. Of course, Yugioh have existed for quite some time, and it's funny that water just continuously gets buried underneath the pile of new stuff as we're reaching a new pinnacle in the format. So, the format, prepare yourself for Yugioh. I'm really not sure what you're going to want to side for that matchup. If you're playing against Hat, your favorite card is Debunk, and there's a reason why that card has been going up in price. Everyone is on this Skullmeister train now. It's kind of funny because the card's like 30 bucks now, and I don't know why people think it's good. I'd rather play Debunk. I feel like it hits so much more, and it's better than that, in my opinion. Yes, I know Ignition is a card, but I mean, if you're playing the Yugioh game where you go, set 5, your turn. Let's be realistic here. I mean, you're probably going to win. The problem right now with Boojins, also, since a lot of players have been requesting Boojin stuff, the deck isn't as resilient as it was. And it's sad to say this. Nobody knew, except for quite a few people, that Trap Trick Hand Artifacts was going to be a thing. I didn't even expect it, to be honest with you. I was expecting pure Artifacts, Dominate, and then the hands got announced, and people were like, oh, well, let's combine this with the Trap Tricks and get some, you know, big booty butt deck. The thing is, when you're playing Boojins, you have to play Protect the Castle. And did I mention this is the exact same thing that Evilswarm does? Evilswarm goes make Ophion, set 5, protect it. Your deck goes Yamato, cards in hand, 3 Honest, 3 back row. Let's be realistic here. Both decks functionally do the same thing. Both decks act under the same premise, protect the castle, just depending on which castle comes down quicker. Both decks, I know people are going to hate having Boojins compared to Evilswarm, but both decks functionally do the same thing, minus a few cool tricks. So, that's that. Really isn't much else to really say. It's kind of what it is. I mean, the meta isn't as inviting as it was pre this format. I mean, past formats you've had Water, Fire Fist, Yugioh was the underdog. Now Yugioh is on top of the world, and Trap Trick Hand Artifacts. Probably one of the best anti-meta decks I've seen in a long time. Just kind of wrecking face. Outside of that, yeah, there's not really much to say. I mean, like, the continuum of power is shifted. It's only going to get worse when Shaddolls roll out. Once the TCG gets a hold of that, it's going to be a whole new deck, brand new concepts, because we don't have Electromagnetic Turtle, things like that. Outside of that, I mean, regionals are pretty stagnant. I mean, yeah, Madoshays can top every once in a while, but they're not the best deck in the game right now. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And if you play Tested Hat, you understand how hard the Yugioh matchup is, and I'm pretty sure 50% of the people will agree with me on that. So, outside of that, know your matchups, know what to side. I really don't have much advice to give you guys for sideboard outside of debunk. And let's be realistic here. If you want to play this game right now, you're going to have to pick up some really expensive stuff. This is why you've got to be smarter and invest in things that are like $2 to $3 that you think are going to go up. Because you might just get lucky. It's just how Yu-Gi-Oh works. So, guys, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about the meta. And cool boring. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please thumbs up this video to show your support. And please check out Vanguard 40 for Cardfight Vanguard, Kohl Games for miscellaneous trading card games, and No Limit Gaming for a brand new series of Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Thanks for watching.